Welcome to the Velkyn Weave, where a bunch of us nerdy artists, analysts, engineers, writers, and performers get together and play Dungeons and Dragons. So glad you're joining us tonight. If this is your first time watching the Games Tavern, welcome you. Don't forget to follow the Games Tavern on Twitch. It's free and supports the show and all the cast and crew. You can watch us live on Twitch, and all shows are uploaded to YouTube, typically 48 hours later, and eventually we will be taking the podcast world by storm. We'll get rolling shortly, but first, some announcements. Gonna turn it over to Michelle.
Yep. Big thanks to tabletopaudio.com for providing tonight's music, ambiance, and sound effects for the show. You can use tabletop audio in your own campaigns by going to tabletopaudio.com and choosing from over 230 music and ambiance tracks. Number 233, The Ori, was just released, which evokes images of a massive mechanical solar system rotating above the monks. It is science or devotion, with 2 alternate versions available for Patreon patrons. Or if you need something custom, check out the soundpad and options to create your own custom soundpad. We think so highly of tabletopaudio.com that we are supporters on Patreon, and you should be too.
And remember, if you have Amazon Prime, you also get a free Prime Gaming subscription every month, which you can use to show your support to the show, cast, and crew. Prime Gaming subscribers get access to more emotes and also access to a special subscribers-only Discord channel. So, subscribe.
So let's get. We did some moving around with some announcements, and now I will bumble my way right into the game. Roll initiative. No, I'm kidding. Dee and Tobias are rebelling. No, they're not rebelling.
No.
They don't have those backbones.
Am I impressed or sad?
Plus, they just made a fair bit of change.
We've been practicing poisoning our enemies. How? We've been brewing poisons and testing them on each other. The Yonti's immune, apparently. Sorry. So I love our little henchmen, hirelings, and flying carpets. So when last we left our intrepid heroes, the members of the Velkyn Weave, they were traveling south through the land of Ammon. And they were making their way beyond the Witchwood and heading south to Drellin's Ferry. Well, on the way, they were ambushed by hobgoblin marauders who had been a plague in the area for quite some time, murdering merchants and other individuals who are traveling southward. But the Velkyn Weave completely and totally dominated them in combat, freeing them from this mortal coil. It was actually a good scrap with a lot of interesting tactical action on behalf of the Weave. After the combat concluded, they traveled south and they made their way to the town that was preparing for what they described as a hobgoblin invasion. There were rumblings that there were many more raiders out in the woods, possibly numbering in the hundreds. In signs on the horizon points to an ominous growing threat in the Wormsmoke Mountains. Bope flexed the necromancy muscles and turned the 2 leaders of the hobgoblin outfit into animated zombies. The party found, for the first time in a long time, one Blanche Lafayette, who was the apprentice to the Ghost Princess, who they had serviced in the past. And they learned that Blanche had been taken captive by hobgoblins. There is a keep that the gobs and gobs are goblin at. The hobgoblins are mustering at Vrath Keep. And there are signs that there is possible dragon magic located at the keep, according to the map that Blanche has in her possession. So the party had journeyed to the local blacksmith to muster and fortify and increase in their power, and they have just traded a magical greatsword for some additional equipment. And that's where we set our sun on the last adventure. Before we get completely underway, we're going to assume that our characters are gathered at the Green Apple Inn for the evening. They're going to share stories of their homeland, and then they'll have the chance to rest and recuperate, and then decide when they would like to seek out the keep. So, as always, we begin these episodes with character monologues. They're a chance to provide an additional immersion and insight into our characters. And for completing the monologue, the player is awarded with inspiration, and they can trade in 2 inspiration for an auto success. So we will go around. We'll do Quentin, Bope, Delirious, Renian, then Eldon.
thinking back to where I grew up in Menzo Berenzon, I've seen things you people wouldn't believe. Drow patrols on fire off the rim of the rifts. I watched disintegration beams glitter in the dark near the Narbondalen. Just amazing stuff. But, I told you that time about the Beholder and the Drow fighting it. But, that was the same day that I was out with my brother and two sisters, Benaria, I've mentioned her before. And that was the day that we turned in this this Harper infiltrator. He was trying to sneak into the city, and he was paying good coin for directions to the bazaar. And we took his coin, but then we turned him into a house patrol for a little bit more coin and some food. Got to watch out for the family, Man, those were the days back in Menzo Berenzon.
Bope is just mesmerized taking this in, letting Mr. Peppers march along on the countertop, where I imagine Delirious may scritch his little ears, and he waxes nostalgic. Oh, Delirious, you remind me of my son. He really liked, he always loved bunnies. He insisted we keep a fluffle in the family at all times. From the time he was a little leveret himself. When some of our village woodcarvers and naturalists actually did their best to groom a small sapling into the rough shape of a rabbit. It was better in theory than in practice. They spent years on it, and despite the lack of progress. One day we woke to find a large wooden bunny, massive, 5 feet tall, right next to the sapling. It was magnificent. Turns out it was just an illusion put on by my brother, but you should have seen it.
I didn't know you had a son. Okay. Put a pin in that. Let's see. I don't really remember the homeland, but one of the kids who passed through had a cool story, because they did remember where they were from. There was this person in their homeland called the Piper. Sometimes a man, sometimes a woman. They protected their people from the demons of sun and wind by playing a funeral dirge, and drove their enemies away with just sorrow. Thought it was very beautiful.
Sounds moving.
Well, I again, in contrast, if you will, to Quentin's upbringing, Mirabar was a place of light and mirrors, of brightness and shine, of gold and iron that gleamed in the sun. The upper levels, of course, the top level being the human village, the human settlement of Mirabar, over top of the dwarven holds beneath. And it was there where once in the later parts of the year, about this time, the whole city would come alive and festival, and as part of the harvest. Though it is in the north, there's still ability to farm some, and it was to be celebrated going into the winter months, prior to the darkness and the long night. And it was in those days and those nights of that festival, the week long, where one would be enchanted and encased in the gleam that would surround you from all the different pieces that would be on display, that all the forges and from below would come up to show both their pride and their wares. And it is in those that the light was born within Rinyan, and it was from there that Sylvanus stoked it.
This situation with the hobgoblins reminds me of something that happened back home once when I was younger, when folks were still alive. There was this ornery pack of wolves that started coming around. They start harassing the herds at night. We'd hear them out there. Like they weren't really, didn't seem like they were really serious about it, but they do it every night. We hear the sheepdogs out in the yard. Me and my pa would go out there and shoo them away, fight them off. They'd sometimes get a goat or sheep, sometimes wouldn't. But we weren't really sure what they were after. Didn't seem truly like their heart was in it. So before we did anything super rash, we thought, well, maybe we should go get a better look and see what their situation is. So we did. I think we should too.
Segue.
Fire roars in the Green Apple Inn. Deet and Tobias are playing jacks on the floor. And Blanche Lafayette happens to be playing with them. She's cheating.
But do they know?
Yes, because you realize upon closer observation, she's cheating them how to cheat even better. Like she's teaching them a bunch of little tricks. She's like, all right, this is the way a wizard would play the game, and they're eating it up. She even, every now and then she's showing them a few small cantrips and things like that, and she's actually pretty intrigued. That's like, I love that we live in a time when lizard folk and Yon T can play jacks on the floor of the Green Apple Inn with such fine folk.
All according to plan.
This reminds me of something I saw in this one inn I was in. I think it was called the Red Dragon.
While we're being accepting of other, creatures, perhaps we could let the hobgoblins out. And
nope,
nope. Okay.
Deet and Tobias look at you and they go. Deet and Tobias go. We thought you were going to bring up the constant trope of gnomish servitude.
Oh yes, thank you for reminding me. Do you guys notice how the blacksmith, that gnome was just, he seemed like he was treating him like the dirt under his boot.
Quite literally, says Tobias. And they say they're thinking they have a plan tonight that they're gonna set that gnome free. Now the gnome is not enslaved in any way, shape, or form. They just don't like the treatment he's getting. They're like, we're considering a rescue mission.
I mean, do you guys see?
I believe Tamora approves of this.
Am I the pack the pack horse of the group? Right?
Certainly not, Bo.
No.
I hope you don't feel like we're treating you that way.
Okay. I don't know. Look up at Renyon. Okay. All right.
And you see and Deet's like, and I've done drawn up a plan, and he pulls out there's a parchment and what could only be described as the Faerunian equivalent of Crayola crayon. He's sketched out the blacksmith. He's drawn the frowny faced gnome. He's identified where the gnome's room is.
Yes.
And he's thinking, he's like, we get into the night and then we've managed to line up a job for him. Yeah, we've lined up a job for him.
I think that's all he needs is an opportunity.
They motion over to the desk clerk, and there is a large, portly half ogre working the desk at the inn. Big old beard, eye patch, long scar down the cheek. He's like, here. I'd love to take a gnome on. Could use one.
Have you
Keen folk.
Have you guys vetted this one? The way he said that, I don't know.
He's got an honest face. Honest face, they say, and they both nod in unison. Old dangly head up here and lizard head down here.
Well, I mean, I guess they're pretty good judges of character.
We're terrible judges of character. Watch goes, they're terrible judges of character.
I would like to know what Bope thinks of the intentions of this ogre.
You can make an insight.
Okay, it is too dark in this room. That is a 6.
Okay. 6 isn't very high.
No.
Here's how he explains it to you. He goes, you see, if I take a gnome on, I don't have to pay him as much. But that's okay because the economy counts for the gnomish inflation problem. Gnomes eat a little less, they take up a little less space. They have less health issues. He doesn't need as much money, and I would be paying him more than the blacksmith.
That is a good point.
That's what you get out of him.
Need a third option.
Is that about 7 silver per 1 gold? That kind of exchange rate?
Oh.
He starts counting his fingers, and then the half ogre wife comes out from the other side. No, 6 silvers. He gets the joke too, but it's like...
Math is all funny here.
So they just kind of stare.
Well,
Tell you what, guys. How about? Oh, I was gonna let him do it for the shits and giggles, but it's probably actually kind of scary for some strangers just kind of pop up in your house and announce at night.
We were gonna go in through his window, and then we were gonna bag him. They're like, the same way Quentin bags things. We're gonna throw him in the hole, but no zombies, says Tobias. And then he explains. He goes, and then we're gonna run him back here, and then he would enjoy his new life. New life. Half ogre has a good room for him.
or we could just talk to him.
You may want his permission before you bag him. See, he's a sentient creature's kind of.
So when this goes inevitably wrong tonight, please don't wake me. I'd prefer a good night's sleep. Thank you.
They promise not to wake you, Eldon. Yeah.
You know,
promise to rescue in quiet.
Dean Tobias, I think maybe you're not thinking big enough here. You know, there's probably other gnomish people working in the town in a similar situation. What if you got all of them to band together and
A union.
I didn't say that.
Their eyes twinkle at that.
Yes.
Unionize.
Timor is in favor of unions.
Gnome Locals 467. 467. They just, and you see those are the numbers that Blanche rolled on the dice.
Yes. Do it.
It's funny that she has 6-siders with 7 dots on them.
She's a wizard, arcane magic bullshit.
So what you're saying is that Tamora picked the numbers.
We see her hand.
So yeah, the group is just kind of they're rallying behind you, and they're thinking that they're willing to unionize the gnomes. They're like, perhaps we should schedule a parade around town, rally the gnomes.
A union is another name for a guild, yes?
Could be. We suspect you're right.
And having been part of a guild, I can see no fault in this.
Ooh,
Yes.
What guild were you in, Renyon?
Bring the paladin on board.
Alchemist Guild?
Oh,
Was that the local 387 or?
It's local, what was it? 210.
You could help them draw up their charter. Yeah. We want to be Yeah, that's the whole. You're gonna require a signatory to do business in this town, which is fine. The gnomes will have much better lives. They will be free from oppression. So Deet and Tobias, they're thinking about it. They go, we suspect this plan is more complicated and requires additional consideration, Dolira. So maybe we don't snatch him up in the middle of the night tonight, and we wait for the meetings of the trade associations, social clubs, and professional organizations to happen.
That's
Always consider options and how your plan may go wrong. That way you're prepared for the unexpected.
They both turn to Blanche, and they go, she's very wise. And Blanche is impressed too. She's like, you de-escalated this situation.
I have wisdom 18.
All right, so that's what you get out of those shenanigans. Is there anything else you want to do either in town during the evening or here in the inn as a group?
Yeah, can someone remind me of what I got from the blacksmith? Because I totally didn't write it down because I'm
Wow.
stupid.
I was going to ask you to remind me what you got from the blacksmith.
I can tell you.
There were 2 +1 things.
It was a +1 shield we were able to trade for the +2 greatsword, and then a +1 weapon. Who got that?
Was it a weapon or was it the chain shirt?
I think it was the
Oh,
chain shirt.
You're right.
Here's the chain shirt. I think.
And then maybe you got the shield.
I think I was gonna get the shield. That seems familiar, but in my haste, I also did not write it down last night. So, oops, or last week.
Yeah.
That's how
Moving
we
on.
traded a +2 sword for nothing.
Easy come, easy go.
Yeah.
That's what they say.
Bob, I wanted to talk to you about your long-term plans for the zombies in the portable hole.
Well, I don't know how long it is, but what did you have in mind?
Well, I mean, how much of a distraction do you want them to be? Do you want them to look as close to they looked in life, or do you want them to be like comedic? You know, they draw everyone's attention and they're like, "What the heck? Nine hells was that?" And
Well,
stop for a moment.
I was thinking we could use them to help infiltrate the, or at least it's a distraction, to infiltrate the keep. So for that, I suppose either one would work.
Okay, I'll just work in disguise, getting him up to what they look like when they were living, as close as possible.
Oh.
You don't have to watch, Dolores.
No. I'm actually fine with the concept. It just
Okay.
they don't even speak in complete sentences anymore.
They have 2 legs and they will look like hobgoblins.
Yeah, I'll give
Yeah,
him
but I mean, what's the point of just making them disguises if it's going to be immediately obvious they're undead?
what's the point of the disguise?
Well, this disguise will buy us time to do. I mean, we don't really have a plan yet. This is a stepping stone.
15% of a plan. You know, they're not going to
Yeah.
pass the smell test, but
Yeah.
don't worry, I've got spice
Also-
pouches. I'm going to basil them up.
Yeah, sure.
Probably
Go ahead.
get
Chaos
they're a bit
reigns.
closer before they have to worry about, engaging any sort of
Exactly.
conversation, right?
Yes, and I can instruct them that as soon as they are within 5 feet, to try to rip the throats out of any hobgoblins they see. And that
Why
would
am I
work
defending this?
wonderfully.
Well, zombies are bad. Once more.
Yeah.
Just
Well, zombies, yes. I told you it's a work in progress. This was my first time.
15% of a plan.
Tobias's noodle neck kind of snakes literally around Bope and kind of dangles on one side. He goes, Deet and I, we was thinking about helping out. And then Deet's like, we want to be, they kind of look a little sheepish. And they're like, we were thinking about disguising ourselves as dragon folk. They love dragons. And we think we are close enough cousins to persuade them. A little bit of feathers and false wings. We could be dragons. How many hobgoblins have seen a dragon?
So I can tell you right now that'll turn our surveillance mission into a rescue mission very quickly.
What did you were going to send in know-nothing zombies?
They're
They
not
don't-
as valuable as you.
They don't need to get out.
Oh, they're like,
And we
Well,
like you guys a lot more.
we just want to pull our weight a little more. Yeah, we're a bit disappointed that we've been not itching to get in the fight and hiding like cowards and vermins anytime anything breaks out.
Oh, don't be so hard on yourself. You did great selling that supplies that we found.
Yeah. And you've
earlier
greatly
today.
improved my morale and my faith
Quentin
with
taught
my
us how to
guys.
keep books, and they have like meticulous books now. We've learned the art of mathematics, arithmetic.
Not even in crayon, huh?
And what did I tell you about books? Always keep 2 sets.
Cook them like a steak. Always keep 2 sets. Deet has one, Tobias has the other. That's great.
Uh,
One in the front, one behind the back. All right. So, and also, if there's any other information you want to get about the keep while you're in town, you can. I mean, it's not so late that you would have to go to bed now, but the sun has set. You do hear like there is some to do outside. The town is actually gathering their valuables that they would distribute as payment to the group, because they said it very well too. They would rather keep their lives, and they're not really worried about the treasure, because they're like, if an invasion's happening, we all die anyways unless we run off. So who knows where you're going out in the world. Money currently
pragmatic approach.
doesn't have any value for us,
Mhm.
but they are taking an inventory of what they could muster to pay you.
I mean,
We
very
might
forward
just get that
thinking.
+2 greatsword
I
back.
mean, it doesn't have to be in gold. There's other things of value that
Carrots.
could be useful in the mission ahead.
You could always
Goblin Halloween costumes.
you could talk to the speaker, but if it's anything like, say, armor, weapons, or other things, they're going to try to defend themselves first. They're
Yeah.
already considering just storming the blacksmith and robbing him blind, because the last thing they want is like a hobgoblin army to come in and be like, now we have +1 swords.
We're probably all better armed and armored than the average townsfolk here already.
Yeah, they're not bad here, but they're not very great fighters. You could also offer them training and things like that if you wanted to help them out.
I was going to ask you.
I mean, I was considering it.
Training montage? What?
Training
Yeah.
montage? I was going to ask if anybody could tell me like about Wrath Keep. Like,
Yeah.
how old is it? Who built it? Maybe like
Any
Pat-
obviously
blueprints
it's probably
lying
not a
around?
hobgoblin for
Secret passages,
Yeah.
ways in, out.
Anybody super
lines,
old that knows any secrets? Yeah.
lines of sight.
They tell you the your best option there would be to talk to Serana. She was the town captain. Her uncle is something of a local legend, not in town but out of town. He's one of those folks that live out there in the wilds, and so she might have some more information.
Mm. Yeah, I think we should go talk
Yeah,
to Serana,
yeah.
maybe. Just all at once, really just pile up on her. Be like,
Hi,
we have questions.
can we talk to you?
So she's currently she's facilitating the collection of town valuables and kind of doing an appraisal and an exchange just to make sure that you can be compensated should you return, because they want to make sure that they take care of their adventurers that pass through town. Yeah, Serana sort of sees you all approach, and if you all sidle up to her, she will be both flattered and shocked.
So
Hey there, Serana. We're wondering if you could tell us any, I guess, background information on the keep. Anything that could help us find our way around inside it. History, construction, anything like that?
She explained. She goes, well, there's a number of points about it. Now, my uncle Jor would be the best to give the full history, but the keep is about 15 miles north of here. It's in the middle of the Witchwood, and it used to be one of the flagship monuments of this area, but it has a very sad tale that fell upon it. So the Witchwood had a very evil reputation, and a man, very ambitious fellow named Amory Wrath, gained control of the keep. And he filled it with mercenaries, and he filled it with a small army of forest giants, and they protected the land and they protected the road. What happened over time, though, is they fell under an assault by a very, very powerful ghost army that rose up out of the forest, and it infested everyone in the keep. But that was many years ago, and we think a lot of this is shrouded in myth and legend. But we do know that Frath did live, for his keep still stands. And we believe that his bones are still there, as well as his fortune. And that's what I largely know about it. They're outside of Blanche's claim that hobgoblins are moving in. There hasn't been anyone that has taken up arms in the keep. It's mostly abandoned. It's really it's not safe. Like, it's not really a defensible position anymore. Some of the buildings have been known to crumble from time to time, or at least so my uncles told me. If you see him, tell him I sent you.
What would what would be? You said it's not defensible, but there must be some point in it that would remain or keep some type of capability to at least present itself as something defensible. Or else, why would anyone choose to use it?
Mm.
I mean,
Said, go ahead.
isn't it in the name? It's a keep. If anything, that I would presume there's a tower remaining.
She said there should still be a few towers. Not sure if they still have roofs on them. But she said there's probably more below ground because the Witchwood's dangerous. It's not safe to travel. Most people wouldn't go out that way. And if Blanche was there at any point, and the hobgoblins are still there, they probably have more defensible positions. She said, if anything, it was large enough to house an army at one point, so it would serve as a suitable gathering point to muster.
The hobgoblins did mention that Blanche had locked herself underground
In a basement of some kind, a cellar maybe.
Yes.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that. So where could we find your uncle? Actually, if he could tell us a little bit more, that'd be great to get the lay of the land.
He says, all right, what you're going to want to do is start traveling north up the Dawn Way. His cabin is on that road, the Old Forest Road. The Dawn Way turns into the Old Forest Road if you, as soon as you hit the wood. Then about half day's journey, you should find him. Be nice to his dogs, though, or he will get very temperamental.
I'm always nice to animals.
She
Say.
is.
Unless they're
Well,
trying to eat me.
We could probably go see him in the morning, maybe on the way out there.
You're going to want to make sure that you cross the river. So there's going to be a river crossing. My uncle's cabin should be a little further beyond the river.
Thank you, Serrana. Really appreciate the information.
Well, we appreciate you being willing to brave the Witchwood. We've sent no less than 20 people to try to uncover what is going on at the keep or to get more information on the Hobgoblin Raiders, and they haven't returned.
Who were these people? Like, what was their profession?
Well, we had a number of hunters, we had a number of scouts, we had a number of, retired military, a few of the local farmers that knew the land pretty well. I mean, we're simple folk, and we've had a relatively peaceful existence. We were just trying to get information, but the threat of the woods seems to be beyond any of us at this point.
Keep an eye out. But your uncle lives in it just fine?
He's a tough man,
Sounds
she
like it.
says, very matter-of-factly.
If the hobgoblins have set up some type of cordon around the city, perhaps he lives outside of it.
Oh, he's in the woods pretty right, proper, safe. And if they come for him, well, I suppose enough of them could probably overrun him, but he also knows how to disappear from time to time. Those woods are essentially
ghost?
his fortress. No, he's very much alive. Very proud of she kind of laughs at it too. She's like, he's very proud of all 83 years he's lived.
Wow.
I'm looking
Ooh.
forward to meeting this guy. I tell you what.
I know that she might not seem like to you, but relatively.
Yeah. No, I understand how the differences work. That's respectable.
Still walks at least 2 miles a day. He walks more than 2 miles a day.
Yeah, I'll bet.
And he might have more information about the keep, but relatively, that's the summation of it. He does know how to get there, and he knows the secret ways through the woods.
His name was
We gotta find
Jor.
Jor.
And sorry, remind me, how far away is he?
He's about a good old 8 miles into the woods. He's just beyond the river crossing.
All right.
There was something that I wanted to look for if we had time. Just real quick, the people who are gathering up all the treasure to pay us with later, I wanted to eyeball it and ask them if they had any little trinkets made of adamantine.
They
What
think
I'm-
about it.
What I'm looking for is like 5 pieces, one for each of the party members, if there is anything available.
Let's do a die roll. Just go ahead and roll a d20 for me.
10.
That is not enough. You're not able to find any, but they do say that they'll look for it, and if you, they'll let the townsfolk know that one of the members of the illustrious Velkyn Weave is interested in adamantine, and they'll be on a, they'll search diligently.
Thank you very much.
Much obliged. The widow Mavis promises to be diligent in her hunt.
I believe that woman. Somebody called
Raised
the widow
13
Mavis.
children.
Is
The
serious.
widow Mavis.
Is serious. Well, that's all I got planned for the night. I'm ready to turn in.
See the silhouettes of Deet and Tobias sneaking across the town. No, they know they don't want to get in trouble.
I mean, if they want Tamora's blessing before they go about their business tonight. I don't actually know what they're up to. I'm just happy to watch.
They're not. They're
Just happy
sitting.
there's antics.
They're sitting back.
Mm.
They would like to free a gnome, but they realize it's probably better to unionize the gnomes.
It's a better long-term solution.
Convinced them.
Kidnapping a dude is very short-term.
Guilds
Very.
hold all the power.
Had a job lined up for him. Not a great job.
Mm.
Or like indentured servitude.
Hope you know what I smell? It's not zombies. It's adventure. Tomorrow morning, adventure.
To the keep.
Oh boy.
Oh,
All right.
in the morning. Relax.
Are you kidding me?
So
I need to sleep now. I'm pooped.
night turns to dawn, and then the sun rises the next day. It's bright and early, and it is safe to head down the Dawn Way. And there is... Go ahead.
It's like, I wonder why they call it the Dawn Way.
What an excellent question.
That's for nature folks to understand.
I think Renyon is a nature folk.
Let me double check if I have any extra notes on why it's called the Dawn Way.
'Cause, I mean, it's one thing if it traveled east, then, it travels into the dawn, but you're saying it travels
I think if
north.
I actually turn the map right the other way, it does move east. No.
Directions are relative. Anyone coming down the road towards the city would be traveling.
No, it goes the other way. It goes the way I said. But it does turn
What's
into the old
relative?
forest. Yeah.
Cardinal directions.
Well, yeah, because they change depending on where you're oriented on a surface.
Where's north right now?
Ah. It has
I
to
don't know. I
deal-
can't see the sun.
So,
I have derailed everything.
no, it is actually named after the Order of Dwarves from the ancient Dwarf Kingdom that
You should know this, Renyon.
built this area.
Should.
From the northern dwarves. These are the southern dwarves. Entirely different
Yes.
dwarves.
Potato. These are potato dwarves. They're potato dwarves. Alas. So, is there anything the party does before they set off into the woods?
I would like to just leave an acorn by the door of the blacksmith. I don't know if gnomes have to use their own doors in blacksmiths. I don't know what things are like there, but I would certainly leave it somewhere where he would find it. Like a doggy door, for their size.
He doesn't use doors. They make him use dwarves. He has to walk through a dwarf every day. No. So the Witchwood is dark and haunting today. As you are traveling up the road and making your way, I would like Doliris to roll me a D100.
I hope you. 86. I don't know if that's what you wanted.
All right.
Whistle.
That
Dang.
works.
I
Okay.
hope that's not the number of hobgoblins we have to kill.
No.
Bring it.
In this part of the wood, it feels like the woods have eyes, and you are being watched and followed during this trek.
I feel like by this point I'd have like a secret hand signal that would relay this information. It's happened enough. Like or
This
something. I don't
This
know.
isn't the first time that
You
we've
might.
been watched and followed in a woods.
Anything can happen in the woods. It's not the trees, though. The trees themselves do not
I didn't
have
know that was
eyes.
an option.
The awakened shrubs and the awakened
Oh,
trees.
yeah, those things I was trying to forget because trees don't hiss.
They have eyes. They took them from the last travelers that came through here.
They tangle the
Are,
eyes.
are you messing with me, Eldon? I can't. You can't do this to me. I'm a city girl.
Spooky.
It's the PTSD when the trees start speaking common.
Doliris,
Yes.
your perceptive ways pick up that it's not the trees that are watching you, it's not the paths, and it's not the general uneasiness. The path you are going through is infested with sturges. They are hanging in the branches.
What is a sturge?
So a sturge is a small, flying rodent-like creature that is blood-sucking in nature. Your character would know.
Flying
this.
vampiric rats.
Like a giant mosquito.
Yeah.
A giant fleshy mosquito.
Flying vampiric rats.
Yeah, it's kind of like a cross between a bat and an oversized mosquito. And so essentially, you feel that the sturges could be avoided through ingenuity. There's a lot of them, and you can see there's well over a dozen here.
Guys, we have a problem.
They're-
Please tell.
I thought it was a
Yeah.
Tuesday.
Nobody react. Everyone remain calm. There's a buttload of sturges above us.
I would expect such in this type of woods.
I slowly look up.
Have
You see
have the-
them.
Have the zombies found their use? Should we send them forward and then we go around?
I
just
mean,
wanna say
would
that is
they
a brilliant use of the zombie.
would they suffice as like prey since they're already dead?
I mean, how smart is a sturge,
They're not totally clotted yet, right?
right?
Zombie's got some flesh on him.
Yeah, it's not a skeleton.
You create
Still
zombie
some blood.
sturges.
Or mummy. Zombie sturges.
All right.
Or I could send forward some dancing lights and try to lure the sturges off to the west. Which way am I standing? Which way is west?
See, relative.
I get the rope out and I start
Into the
twirling it.
Wait, what are you doing with the oh, right, you're gonna release the zombies. Yes, okay.
All right. And I do the lasso opening on the ground and
Uthlar! Czar!
Maybe it turns around so he doesn't have to watch this last.
All right.
A little easier to bear the more you're
Uthgar and-
exposed to it.
Yeah. Uthlar and Zos, they come out, or Zar, they come lurching out, they're stumbling. They kind of give like a head tip nod of respect to Bope as they come out for whatever reason. And they're like worms. And they kind of look out and they're stumbling to and fro. What do you tell them to
Before we possibly never see them again, did I give Czar a good pat down? Any spell book or scrolls or anything?
Time and a place, Bo.
He would not have had any on him, and he was actually a divinely oriented spellcaster.
All right.
Divine fireball.
Well, he can cast fireball for sure.
Okay. Let's see. I turn to the group. Which one do we like least?
Yes.
The caster.
Okay. Czar, run forward and wave your hands, and then try to dance with the Sturges. Uthlar, back in the hole.
All right. Uthlar goes, kind of crawls back inside. Czar flails his left leg in front of him and kind of drags the right. He's trying to do it as quickly as he can. The thing is, he wasn't a very strong runner even in life. That's why he had the mount, Andre. And so,
which we left back in the city.
Yeah, if you left your mounts back, that's.
Oh, did we? But Velociraptor could have some words of wisdom for us in these trying times.
He's helping Dean and Tobias with the books.
Right.
True.
Oh yeah, no, that is a better use of his mind.
Are Deet and Tobias with you?
No, they're clearly back in the city organizing the gnome guild.
Union. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're unionizing the gnomes.
Put a pin in that, and you'll come back to that. Everyone is like bound and gag, and the gnomes are just standing and lording over them, carrying around Deet and Tobias and palanquins.
Oh,
they elected us leaders.
Don't kid yourself. Velociraptor is going to be the leader.
Yeah, I believe that one more. It's the reptile cunning.
But can they speak to Velociraptor?
Turning the handle of the door to
Potions
running the town.
They give the Velociraptor a potion of common.
You come back and Velociraptor is dressed in the priest's robes, like from the Shrine of Pelor, and just, I've been teaching them ways. And there's like a religious schism between the Timora and Pelor worshippers in town, and like they have competing congregations. Anywho, back to this. So Czar lunges forward. All 14 Sturges land on him, latch on, and start sucking. They are tearing. His body is like just pierced, punctured, and ripped to shreds.
Fireball is probably a bit much.
And then the Sturges.
Is it though? Is it?
Guys, let's just.
So just so you know, for impact, Czar would have taken 50 points of damage upon impact using the mob combat calculator, and then an additional 5 points of damage each additional round because they just latch on. Yeah, they're just latched on it. And you watch this, and the Sturges seem to kind of be like regurgitating Czar up, and then they just roll over, flop onto their backs, dead, poisoned by his zombie ways.
This was amazing.
With him being a zombie, does he get back up since they weren't hitting him with any
I rolled and
damage?
he didn't.
Renyon, I accept your apology.
I'm gonna wander over, pull out my dagger, and just start stabbing their little heads, just to be sure.
Whoa, Delirious.
What?
You used an unholy creature to kill living creatures. No,
desecrating a beast of the wild.
Eldon, are you okay with this?
Not really, no.
What? I'm just making sure they're dead.
What do you look at them? They're not breathing. They've all turned a very strange shade of green. I think we're free to move on at this point.
Eldon, I got two words I'd like to say. Zombie Sturges.
Stop it.
Somewhere you hear Bach playing on an organ.
We have to go. Can we go now, please?
Fine.
Fewer zombies. We're not getting attacked by wild, blood-sucking flesh bats. We're good to go. All right.
Just want to point out, Delirious, I had more group buy-in for my zombies than you did for decapitating the Sturges.
I like to point out, Bo, that your plan involved getting rid of one of the zombies, hence the buy-in.
Oh, that's right. Okay, fair enough. Carry forward.
So the day continues.
I was just making sure they're dead.
You have defeated my Sturges puzzle.
Are Sturges considered beasts, or are they like abominations, or
tiny beasts?
Tiny beasts. Okay.
Unaligned.
Does that mean both?
With that said,
which means I could turn into a Sturge if I want to now.
Yes, you can.
But should you?
But I won't, because they're gross.
They're gross. You're approaching an area of the Witchwood known as the Blackwater. So it's more wooded on the outside, then gets a little more marshy and swampish in the middle. And the Blackwater is signified by the river that runs through it and a bridge. And you are approaching the bridge. You can see that there is an old overturned wagon. You can see a few dead. You would recognize them as militia members from Drellin's Ferry that were exploring through here. They were probably on their way to go find Jor for help. And
Now, when you say river, are we talking like an actual river? Or are we talking rivers that they would say in like Europe? Like this is a legitimate like 200, 300 yard river.
it's more of a causeway. It's like a smaller. This is like the Rappahannock. Like it's long and it flows very far across through the region, but it's not like say hundreds of yards wide.
It ain't exactly the Mississippi.
Not the Mississippi, more like the Rappahannock. This is a good old fashioned Virginia river. Now,
So where I'm from, we call those creeks.
I know. You
Where
also
I'm from,
call
we call those
Appalachian
cricks.
mountains
Yeah.
hills. As a Virginian, lifelong, I have put up with many names, but here in the good, it's not very far across. It's a good 15, 20 feet across.
Oh, so I can jump it.
You probably could. It wouldn't
Speak
be
for
very
yourself.
hard for you to do it.
Triple jump.
But it's moving into marshland, and you notice that the land has become quite marshy, and the grass is starting to give way. The water is starting to flood and rise the forest area, and there is a bridge, as described, that crosses and goes deeper into the black water area of the Witchwood. And Jor's cabin should be, within like a mile radius beyond the bridge.
Having been in similar terrain before, I will make sure to have my prodding stick in order to prod the ground upon which I am then walk.
While he's doing that, I'd like to stash the militia's members that we found in the portable hole to bring back to the village.
I mean, it's
Okay.
pretty full in there, but can make room.
Gonna actually ask and see if we could try and discern what killed these poor folk.
Make a medicine check. Anyone can make it. And if you have two people helping each other, both of you are proficient, we'll give you advantage. Or if you can describe fictionally some other way of determining that.
What else
information.
proficient besides me?
I pull Bope over to the side and I'm
Sweet.
like,
all right.
look, we
14.
got some bodies in case you need them later.
Oh, that's true. Well, these were good people.
No,
That's why I
No.
said I pulled Bope over to the side.
Yeah, that's true.
She's got very good perception.
I mean, I do have very good perception, but I respect I pulled aside. I
Yeah.
respect it.
I got
They're
Yeah,
stricken from the record.
14 on my medicine check.
It's an option.
You can see that they have been. You can see very clearly that they were stabbed. But most likely after they were stabbed, they were bitten many times. Their flesh is torn.
Yikes. Okay. So they were killed by something with a sharp, pointy sword or knife, but something's been chewing on them too.
Sturgis?
Urges.
No, I don't think Sturgis.
No.
Like, Sturgis just poke and suck the blood out. Whatever's been chewing on, chewing on them.
What happened to that zombie was not poking.
Well, are there large beasts around? Well, I guess the hobgoblins, do they have, I don't know, wolves?
Delirious.
Yes.
As the bodies are being examined, you see something moving in coming up in the water. There is a large black shadow. And at this point, please roll initiative. So for production, we'll move to combat map 2. I will do a quick copy and a quick paste.
Got a nat 20 on my initiative roll, so 22.
Brilliant.
Are we in the north side of the map, or?
No, you are actually traveling north up the trail. You are, so the party, those of you that were examining the bodies are at A. Anyone can be on the grass or on the bridge, though, that was not examining and collecting the bodies.
We're in some shallow bog examining the bodies. Got it.
Yes. And so the bog is fairly shallow. The river itself is slightly deep. And then there is a hydra. You notice this hydra has 6 heads. And
It's a hydra.
It's a hydra. And in the TPK tournament 2018, I did wipe a party with a hydra. But I have high confidence in you all. The hydra, let me make sure I get my initiative tracker up, and then I'm going to call out your names and then give me your initiative. The hydra most likely is going last.
No one else checking the bodies. All right, guys, let's see how it is. Everybody's like, no,
Quentin.
he's fine.
Wait, wasn't there more
You're muted.
people checking the bodies? No? Was it really?
20.
just- Yeah, and you were the only one with medicine.
And Pope.
12.
Well, somebody was gonna put the bodies in the rope, right?
Yeah, I was.
Yes.
So there should be somebody with the rope over there.
What's the rope gonna
I'll be all right.
And Doliris.
20.
Ooh.
Fastest cleric in the West.
But we're in the east. No, actually, no, we're in the west. And Rinian.
Nothing.
And Eldon. You're muted.
22.
Nice.
Y'all are easily going to go before this Hydra. All right. So,
A 7?
Hydra got a 6
Nice.
Ooh.
with a positive modifier and everything. I was like, well, there goes that just battle. It'll just vamp away from him. All right. So, let's go ahead and start. In our 22, we'll go first. So, let's, Eldon, you're up. You're muted.
So I do is seeing the hydra then, or see it coming or something.
You definitely see it coming up out of the water.
Big shape.
And just so you know,
big scary shape.
you are technically engaged with it.
All right, it's got that reach.
Yeah.
It's got reach.
All right. Woo. Okay. We're gonna start with the good old-fashioned conjure animals and a big old CR2 classic friend, the giant constrictor snake.
Hooray.
Oh, bless you.
There's a big multi-headed snake monster in the swamp, so I'm gonna bring my own big snake monster to the swamp.
Okay.
Okay.
If that's all right.
That's totally all right. I figure it is regionally and story appropriate.
I'm gonna say eagles.
Call it
but-
Tobias Senior.
Maya Senior.
Big boy.
All right.
So
So that's a snake summoning.
snake summoning, and I'm gonna go ahead and, as my bonus action, put my hawk totem up in the air as well. My hawk spirit.
Hawk.
The hawk. So, want me to run the snake now? The snake will attack the big critter.
The huge monstrosity.
Attacked by the huge beast. Just make a big Eldon to be my big snake. There we go.
Woo!
So, big snake, big Eldon. There we go. All right. So he will attack for a 23 to hit. Nice.
That definitely will hit.
All right. So that means he's grappled and restrained then.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yes. For a 2d8 plus 4. 2, 6. Yeah, 10 points of bludgeoning damage.
Really dokely.
Magical bludgeoning damage.
Magical.
Magical creature.
All right. Anything else you're doing on your turn?
I am gonna risk getting away from it now. No, my snake went after me, so I'm there. Okay.
You're gonna risk getting away?
Yes. Yeah.
'Cause I was gonna say, I don't know if you fought many hydras, but that snake may not last very long.
Yeah, I'm gonna risk getting away because that snake might not last very long.
All right.
But he's restrained right now, so there's that at least.
Very helpful.
Yes. So you're moving away.
Yes.
So you are attacked 6 times as you walk away.
All 6, even on the reaction.
Ooh.
Okay. All right.
So
You got that
okay.
the
shield,
Hydra
right?
has a feature called reactive heads. For
Oh,
each head the Hydra
okay.
has beyond 1, it gets an extra reaction that can be used only for opportunity attacks.
Oh, boo! That's cheating.
And there have been fights and tournaments over that ability. And that is exactly how it works. So let's see though. 17 on the first attack.
At disadvantage?
At disadvantage?
18 at disadvantage.
Yeah.
So
that is-
17.
Yeah. So, just,
So that'll do 12 points of piercing damage.
Uh-oh. Oh, no.
Did,
Oh, no.
Did you add in the +1
disadvantage.
shield?
yes. Yeah, I'm 17 with the +1 shield. Yes.
So 21 on the second at disadvantage. If it wasn't a
lose
disadvantage,
Eldon.
it'd be a crit. 6 points of piercing damage.
That's not bad.
Only a 9 on the third attack. 20 for 15 points of piercing damage
Oh.
on the fourth attack. Misses.
Drew it
fifth attack.
down.
Yeah.
19 for 12 points of piercing damage on the sixth attack. How you feeling?
So bad. Really, really, really bad. I'm in shallow bog here. Is this gonna slow me down?
Yes, it will.
Yay.
Oh, boy.
Okay, I think I can probably just make it maybe about that far.
In fact, you're so short. You, essentially, yeah, you're swimming at this point. I would
Yeah.
think almost. You can bob.
Just hold my head above water, getting bit by a giant hydra. Okay.
Oh, gosh.
And with that, the Hydra hasn't even had the Hydrant's turn yet. That was the first round of combat. So Quentin, you're up.
Is the concentration still up on the giant constrictor?
Jesus, I didn't even.
Oh, gosh.
Determines
That's-
whether
No, it's gone.
Okay,
Quentin
so,
has an alignment, but Josh is lawful neutral.
so
I am too.
I rolled a 1 and then a 15 to hit with an Eldritch Blast. Sorry, I yell out, I'm going to dedicate your death to the Black Razor, and I drop a Hexblade's Curse on it
Who's the
for a little
Black
extra
Razor?
damage. My patron.
Ooh.
And then I unleash Eldritch Blasts, one of which misses, I think. Yeah, well, definitely. And did a 15 hit?
15 definitely hits.
Okay, that is I guess it would be.
And I believe you have advantage because it's restrained.
Well, it's not restrained anymore.
Oh, that's right.
So 13 force damage.
Okay.
10
13
plus
force
3. And then I'm just going to move my token a little bit north on the map. And I'm done.
Let me double check a quick rule. Okay. Got it. And with that, we'll move from Quentin to Doliris.
Okay, well, I guess it looks like my abilities are needed once again. Gonna plop right there. Yes. Eldon, you poor sod. Tamora grants you the strength to carry on the fight. Oh, that was not a great roll. Take 13. I keep getting 13 on my level 3 cure wounds. Take 13
Unlucky.
health back.
No, it's lucky. 13 is a lucky number.
One of those
I like
bites
that
heals.
attitude.
Yeah, one of those bites closes up.
Right. That is a hell of a lot better than I had before, though. So I'll take it. I still look terrible.
Anything else on your turn, Doliris?
Can I move away again?
If you have any movement, you can.
I do.
Wise.
Move it right back there.
And with that, Bope, you are Bopen.
Just to be clear, I cannot use this inspiration to give someone disadvantage on a saving throw.
No. And I'm going to tell you this. Hydras have so many heads, they have advantages on many different saving throws.
What about... Okay. Well, I see all the heads
6
bobbing
of them.
around.
Hit for a lot of damage, more will grow.
And all of those attacking so quickly to our little halfling friend, I will smack together the molasses and say, let's bring him down to our speed. Well, my speed, and cast slow. And I'm not going to roll any die. What am I doing? That's a wisdom save. 15?
How is his wisdom save?
18 wisdom save, and his wisdom saves aren't very good, but he rolled a natural 18. Plus 0 to wisdom.
All right.
Oh, good to know.
Would have
Good to
been
know.
really good if it worked.
Anything else on your turn, Bope?
I might scamper a little bit, as Bope is wont to do.
Scamper.
Flee. I wouldn't think less of you for fleeing.
Maybe I'll
And-
scamper toward. No,
It might come to that.
I'm good.
Renian is up.
Punish it, Renian.
So you see how many heads that thing has?
Pulls out his legendary weapon, Hydra Slayer, and it's just like a bunch of sword blades, and he jumps. Ah!
I mean, is everyone looking like they're staying and fighting, or right? Yes.
I mean, Quentin always looks like he could just dart away and leave you guys behind, but
I meant all the other people that actually.
I also do not quite have a reason to flee yet, but it could, if one more person goes down, it could go that way.
Leave them.
Well, no, I have ideas.
See what happened.
No.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. All right. Gripping his sword, Rinian will dash across the water, seemingly unaffected by that 2 feet of marsh that is impeding everyone else.
Sylvanus nonsense, I assume.
Free action ring.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
thank the hall.
So he will be able to directly engage in one movement.
If you're attacking, I'm giving you advantage for showing heroism in combat.
Yeah.
I think I should reward the heroism because you very well could be in a whole world of hurt after this.
Having not seen that, let's see. We will drop Moonbeam on him.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Moonbeam.
Are you not attacking him then? Wait, what's happening?
Yeah, because Rinyan has some knowledge of fighting creatures in the swamps, and knows no fire was used this turn, or in the last few seconds. Knows better than to try to chop off a Hydra's head.
It might still lose one, so we'll see though. So
It shouldn't.
So if it takes whenever a Hydra takes 25 or more damage in a single turn, one of its heads die. So it has to be a single turn. So if you do more than 25, it may lose a head. I would rule that a Moonbeam would not allow. We could play with it in the fiction because I like Moonbeams like stopping transformations, and I know it's just heads regenerating, but we'll see.
I rolled 2d8. I know that was wrong. It's 2d10. I actually got the exact same number, 8.
8 points of damage on the Hydra.
You got this, Renyan.
So enters the spells
You
area
got
for the.
this, Renyan.
So I know this is the way that it's worded. It's always weird, right? So it's the first time that it enters the spell. Well, the spell entered it, but then it also happens on its turn.
I think it happens on its turn for
So it says whenever it enters the spell's area for the first time or starts its turn. So what I would say is let's just go ahead and roll damage again, but it's a new turn, right? So I'm okay with that because it can move around and stuff like that.
Okay. 8 again because it's habit as a paladin to roll 2d8 for everything. 15
15 points of damage.
as radiant burny energy sizzles.
Y'all are you in this round so far. You have caused a lot of damage to this Hydra, and you've done it in a good manner that it's not growing your heads.
Yay!
slow and measured manner.
So at this point, it grapples Renyan and pulls him underwater deep. No, I'm kidding. That's what I did in the TPK tournament. I got mad. I'm like, "Where the hell are your grapples?" They're like, "No, that's our no," and I just swam to the bottom of the swamp.
You don't get a cleric.
Pulling the button. Yeah.
I mean, I think I have a good shot at fighting that.
You would out wrestle the Hydra. It would be embarrassing. All right, so it's attacking Renyan.
We believe in you.
Let me.
I don't.
Defend us. We're so squishy.
So 21, 18, 19, 19, 17.
3 hits. And 2 of them were on the money. Stop that.
Okay. Did I only attack you 5 times?
Yeah, it
makes
sounded
6
like
attacks.
There was a 6. It was
And 19.
Renyan. When the GM asks, "Did I only attack 5 times?" you say no.
He is lawful.
So
I'm not lawful, I'm neutral. Good.
15, 12,
Jeff.
12, 14, 6.
Wait, that sounded like 6 damage. Wait, what? Say
And
that
I'm
again.
reading.
Math is hard.
So let's go through. So did it hit you 4 times?
4 times.
So
You
let's
gave me-
just roll damage 4 times.
I was
All
like,
right,
you gave me 5 numbers.
Because
Hydras.
some of these are misses, because I rolled a lot of attacks and I'm just reading them down, just the damage rolls. So let's do this. We're gonna re-roll the damage, and I'm
I
just
think
gonna do it.
15's its max, so yes, please.
Yes. So 9, 15, 15, 7. That's the 4 hits that landed. Apologies for that. So it's 1d10 plus 5.
Yes. No, that's no.
All right. So with that, the Hydra decides then that it's going to move and take an opportunity attack.
Oh no.
Oh.
Leave me alone.
Hydras like taking opportunity attacks because they often grow new heads when that happens at the end of its turn. So it gets hit, then grows 2 new heads. So are you going to take a swing?
Jeff.
What? I know. I'm thinking probably.
This is the chess version.
I mean, are you going to deal 25 damage with one swing?
If he crits, he might.
Rinian hits hard.
Do it. Fucking
Can
kill
we-
that thing.
This is Eldon.
He's chasing me.
I mean,
Quentin
no
has
one's
turned
going to
into
take another
Blanche
turn.
Lafayette, friend of Hydra's.
24 to hit.
Where is Blanche Lafayette? She can
Okay,
nuke
you
the
hit.
thing.
For
She's scared to go back to the keep.
Bullshit.
For 12 points of magical slashing.
There you go.
Okay. Very nice, very nice.
I guess
So you have
technically,
lumped up this.
if I crit, I only can do a maximum of 24 on if I max out the damage.
Hey,
Is that with your smite?
it's a win-win.
No.
No.
Yeah.
It's 179 max damage. All right. So back to the top of initiative.
Boy.
It is Eldon's turn.
Is he back within melee?
Yes, he's got 10-foot range.
Oh god, we're all in range.
Yeah.
Wait, did he go through me?
He went down and around. So he went
Went down.
down, then up.
Cure wounds myself because it hurts real bad.
You could theoretically just duck into the water and then it'll leave you alone. I've thought about that. I was like, I wonder if just head under.
Oh my
Well, that was
god.
also a really poor level 3 cure wounds with 12 hit points per game.
Oh.
It's a curse, man.
Okay. So that was my action to do that. Good grief. I've got totem up there. I'll have, you know, just in case, I got no other bonus action that I can use right now. I'll shillelagh up my my staff just in case as a bonus action.
Are you
And-
moving in and cracking him with it?
Nope, I used my action to heal myself. I'm just going to try and look unassuming in the water right now.
Duck hat flips it
Yeah.
over. Little duck head on top. You've got this. You've got this. Quentin, you're up.
I stretch my hand out and gesture at it, hexing it further, this time with Hex, and I will choose the Perception as the skill that gets hexed in case I need to try and hide from it later. And then I'm going to unleash some Eldritch Blast Hell on it, and let's see, rolled a 19 and a 15 to hit.
Both will hit.
Okay, it is both hex-bladed, hexed, and hexed. So that is 8 force, 4 necrotic, and 6 force, 6 necrotic.
Hex squared.
How much damage is that total?
24.
That's a very. Did somebody add that up?
24.
It sounded like 24. Yeah.
Okay.
Excellent.
And then
12 and
I've
12.
got some movement, so I will move to the other side of the bridge.
Go into Jory's cabin, start living it up.
Kite it away from us.
I mean, if it works.
Speaking of kiting, Doliris, your turn.
Okay, I can move around in the threat zone without provoking an attack as long as I don't move out of it, right?
Yes.
Generally the idea.
Okay. Okay. I'm already in it, so.
Yep.
Okay, I can just make it. Duranian. Tomorrow grants you the strength to carry on the fight.
How about some heroic inspiration for that one?
Well, that's a better roll. Take 21 health back.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Way better. All right.
way better.
Rinian looks reinvigorated.
Yeehaw.
For
Far
one more
more.
round.
All right. Rinian? Or Bope. Bope's up.
It's like,
Okay,
oh, shit.
guys, what do I do? Like, I could fix this with slow. There's like a 75% chance it works. A little less than that.
Or just hit it with fire.
Or I could just hit it with fire.
I think you just need to blast it.
All right. Okay.
But once you blast it, then I get to blast it.
All right. You guys have moved in such a way that Bope peeks around, doesn't see Quentin.
And if it hits fire, or fire hits it, because we're kind of sharing some of the lore of these monsters and teaching how they work. Like Jeff Rinian was right. Like if it takes fire, those heads aren't growing back.
All right. I see Quentin is out of the way, and I lob my little red acorn that lands. I don't know if I can. No, I can't really indicate. But on the north side of the Hydra in such a way that Renian does not need to duck behind his shield.
Good.
And let me, if he can do a deck save, I will roll those beautiful D6.
All the D6 in the tri-cast.
Only 12.
Hey!
I see
Yes!
it. Oh, shit.
Okay, I rolled 4 6s, so that's a good
Yes!
start. All right, so that's
This was the time!
I succeeded.
32, 34, 37.
Yes!
Above
That is
average.
the highest that by far that I've ever
Nice.
rolled.
Neighbors aren't listening.
You take a giant chunk out of the Hydra. It is
Seared.
scorched
fades
and
back.
burned.
He scored.
Delicious to eat afterwards.
Crispy.
Be serving Hydra for dinner to the townsfolk of Drellin's Ferry for weeks.
My shield is starting to be
And
a
Rinian
little
is up.
singed.
That felt better than doing nothing with a 3rd level spell slot. Good call, guys.
Turning from protecting himself with the shield and seeing the Hydra being hammered so hard by Bope's spell, Rinian sees his opportunity and decides to lay in. Eldon, has the eagle been used this turn?
Nope, I was about to give it to you.
Oh, so nice of you.
Use my reaction to grant Radiant advantage.
Hey.
Yes!
Yes!
Yes! 10 fucking Hydra!
I got a 19 out of 20.
Yes!
You smite him.
Beauty.
Wow.
Paladin smiting when it gets a crit.
The more has spoken, this Hydra must die.
Yeah.
First, the magical, the physical damage. That'll be 17 magical slashing damage. And then we're doing 2 smites.
Giant block of radiant damage.
Big
I
O.
love this group because I have to pin a calculator to my desktop.
Let's see, that plus that. Okay, so it's gonna be 6 of these. 23 radiant damage from 23 radiant damage on top of the 17 magical slashing damage. And now his second attack.
This might do it.
24 to hit.
That hits.
Yeah, boy.
8 magical slashing damage, and he'll unleash a second smite.
For good measure.
Finish him.
Screw getting hit again for
Yeah.
another 12 radiant damage. His sword is growing very green as he is basically using the swamp to reclaim this creature to it.
The
Nice.
Hydra slumps into the water, and it begins to sink and fade.
Wait, no, catch it. We can probably use parts of that.
No, and all 6 heads start biting those of you that are in range because it is not dead. It has 3 HP
Oh.
left. Bom, bom, bom. I am a bastard. Yes.
Kill it. The fire.
Are you serious?
And I was so close. I was like, there's no
Damn.
way it survives this smite. Then I have the calculator. I'm like, it has 3 HP. So it's going to use its attacks, and it's going to bite at Eldon
Oh
twice.
no!
Well, how many heads did it lose?
Well, let's see. So whenever the Hydra takes 25 or more damage in a single turn, one of its heads die. Okay, you're right. So let's go through this damage. So it lost at least 2 heads.
At least.
It's 2 attacks
And I lost one from the
that did over 25.
fireball.
And a 3rd head from Bope. So it's got 3 heads. So each of you will get bit
Hey.
once, or attempt to bite.
We're good.
I'm fine with that.
Eldon, 27 to bite you.
Yes.
I'm
6
sorry,
points of
his
damage.
AC is 28.
Yep. All right. All right, Vecna. 23 to bite Delirious
He's been
for 7.
Really
points
making
of
these
damage.
last-
Yeah, don't spit.
his last attacks count.
For how much?
But only a 12 to hit Renian. So 7 points of piercing.
Okay,
It knows better.
And
right?
after that,
I can live with
it
that.
goes to the top of initiative, and I believe our initiative leader is Eldon. Eldon, finish it off. This is like Wesley and the Princess Bride
Yeah.
walking up to the ROUS.
Smack it with my
Shillelagh.
Smack it with a
Just
shillelagh.
bam.
That's a 21 to hit.
Bad
All
Hydra.
right.
Shillelagh. Yeah, I don't
Do we
think
need
I can
more
to
than 2
cauterize
points.
this with more fire to
don't
prevent it
think I
from
can.
getting back up?
deal
Probably.
less.
Probably. It's probably better to be safe than sorry.
Yeah, that's 11.
Well, let's do it quickly, then we'll
Magical
gotta
touch.
cut up because this has got to be worth something.
Or produce
Hydra
flame
hearts.
instead.
Oh yeah, produce flame. You can do that.
Yeah, we'll just produce a little flame and sear that sucker right in the face instead.
All right. How much damage?
Produce flame. Oh shit! I maxed out produce flame, so 16 fire.
Nice.
I was gonna say it's possible you could do 2 damage, right?
It is possible.
possible.
I can do 2 damage.
The Hydra sees the flame of the Velkyn weave. Eldon just smashes the remaining heads, and it slumps over as a carcass in the bog. It lived a good long life, and it pestered many folk for many years, but now it is one dead monstrosity. And with that, I think we're coming up a good opportunity to go into our mid-show break. That was an awesome combat. All of you fought, like champions, stood in the face of defeat, and murdered the Hydra.
It would have gone much worse without
So
Bope and Rinian.
don't forget to ask questions to our characters in chat. You can type question in all caps followed by your question and which character it is directed at. Also, Josh, what Patreon announcements do we have?
Well, I'm glad you asked about that. The Games Tavern Patreon is live and a great way to support the show. Every Friday, patrons get to see special behind-the-scenes content and also get special access to other awesome content like DM notes, maps, and behind-the-scene videos. The latest updates include Ellen Goodfield's Swamp Dice recipe, Zatara's letter to her sister, and video highlights and behind-the-scenes stuff from the shows. So just check into the Patreon panel below in our Twitch channel or go to patreon.com/the Games Tavern, all one word, and get your hands on some amazing content.
Also, guys, a thing that's kind of new. I think it's our first time, at least, in going into November. We're starting a charity event. Well, a charity. Yeah, we're teaming up with the charity since November is the month of giving thanks. And we have chosen, with feedback from all of our great members and everything, to team up with Operation Supply Drop. As this is U.S. Thanksgiving, it's Veterans Day in the month of November. I served myself, so we thought this would be a great opportunity. Many people involved in the Games Tavern team are all veterans. So starting November 1st and going through the month, we will have options for charitable giving to Operation Supply Drop. With over 1.5 veterans served since they began operations in 2010. They are known for giving, uh, and they go directly to the veterans that need basically board games and other fun activities to help alleviate some of the boredom and the horrors of war that one may face while deployed. They give, and through this is laughter and fun. This is a great opportunity. I remember making use of some of these board games that came in to us while we were deployed. I can't remember if it was this one particularly, but others like it have served well for veterans and for those who have been sent around the world in service of the nation. With your support, we will be able to continue this mission and give them comfort for all those who protect us.
Thank you to the vets, and thank you for watching. We'll see you guys in 5 to 10 minutes.
welcome back, and it is with great honor, respect, and dignity we announce that the Velkyn Weave has hit 7th level.
Ah!
Ding.
Yeah.
Speech.
Yeah.
No. So we're going to go around quickly, and we'll just talk about sort of where each player kind of views their character going next, and then we'll come back around. And if there's anything in the fiction we want to play out, we can do that before we continue our trek through the woods and find creepy Uncle Jor. He's not creepy Uncle Jor. He's just Uncle Jor. Creepy.
Like,
So,
Probably a little creepy.
so curious, Quentin, go ahead and describe your intentions and plans to the audience.
So I am leaning into the warlock even stronger. He's a hexblade warlock, and his patron is the Black Razor. Anything he kills, sends power to it. And with a 3rd level in warlock, I'm doing the Pact of the Chainmaster so that I can bring a familiar into the world, and we can do our bidding together.
Bope.
Bope merely needs to study some more books and practice his mastery of the weave. And I don't know if we want to do this now. We kind of agreed that we would either take the average of our die roll or roll our hit die. So Bope would like to roll because him being a very decrepit old man, I like the idea of rolling low. So I'm just gonna do that now.
Is Bope a gambler?
Oh yeah. Oh,
I would say if you roll and you get the maximum hit point,
yeah,
you can determine one other character to also get the maximum hit points if you're a gambler.
So I got the average, which is so boring.
It is. It's like drowning in a 3-foot river. The average depth of the
I
river.
tried so hard, you guys.
All right. And Doliris.
I just took the average from the book.
Safe.
What are you excited about, though?
Listen, okay, Tamora gives and Tamora takes away. She gave a lot for the Hydra, and I bet she's going to take away from any die roll I roll for my hit points, and I don't want to hit 1 hit point again. I've been there, done that.
I know that life. And Rinian.
So, Brynjan having 2 reasons that he's continuing down the path of Sylvanus before him. One, having been, let's say, surrounded by such wild and different magics from Quentin's infernal or whatever it is he's tossing these days. Something from beyond.
Shadowfell.
Doliris's and Eldon's divine, similar in many respects to Rinian's, and Bope's arcane and such. Rinian is able to now lay those magics upon himself in a mantle that both protects and wards all who surround him. And himself, of course.
And last but not least, Eldon.
I'm taking the average for my hit dice also because last time I leveled up, it really bit me in the ass.
Yeah.
So I've got a good con modifier. I'm just going to rely on that. But now I have 4th level spell slot and some great new conjuring spells are available in the 4th level range. I have access to conjure elementals and conjure woodland creatures or woodland beings. Conjure minor elementals. Pardon.
Is that what you took?
Well, today it's going to be conjure woodland beings. Just to watch Rinian roll his eyes over there at the Fae that might pop up.
That's what I'm very excited for. We already have a cast of colorful NPCs, and I'm waiting for in Dreaming Avalon to break out in song and dance out here in the woods.
Why is he smiting to Faye? Don't worry about it.
See what CR1/4 to CR2 Faye may appear.
Oh
And
yeah.
get immediately turned. Yeah, we know.
All right.
Be stubborn.
So, is there anything in character the group wants to play out after defeating the Hydra before continuing into the woods
Yeah.
looking for? Oh, all right.
I wobble up to Quentin. Ooh, good job back there. And I just kind of lean in. Who's the Razor?
That's who I dedicate all of my kills to. We've formed a pact. He grants me power on this plane, and I channel energy and other stuff to him.
How long have you been talking to him?
A couple months, actually.
I know that you have a shady past with your family, right? Your sister or something trying to kill you?
Well, multiple of them did, yes.
Is the Razor telling you to kill your family?
No, not at all, actually.
No revenge or anything like that?
It's really not that particular.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know.
It's more to have a little edge and protect myself in case they come for me again.
We'll put a pin in that.
Would you like to know more about the path of the Warlock?
It's fascinating, yes. But, maybe a turn and see who's staring at us.
You notice, as soon as Quentin says that, it gets a little dark around you. Like there's a spotlight around just you two. Everyone else goes out of focus. And you feel tendrils from beyond piercing your heart.
Maybe we are playing.
You look into the darkness looks back.
That's so true.
Well, they're talking about their proclivities for dark beings or whatever. I think I'm gonna follow some advice that I got there before, as we were going on break. I'm gonna go over there and futz around with the Hydra's mouth and collect some big old Hydra fangs.
Yeah.
Plop
Decorate
its
that
dead
hat.
head open.
Yeah,
Just
just
right in there. Just the
Those
roots
Hydra-
on these things are wicked, by the way.
Gets
they're-
the pliers in there.
yeah. Oh, I mean, stick teeth and
really
mud
put it in there.
arm.
We've never
God
seen
damn
Elden
critter
Ring.
just. I grew up ranching. I can yank things out of animals if I need to. It's
It's one of those skills you learn, I guess.
already dead anyway. I ain't gonna feel it. Just, suck her out of there.
You know why that Hydra was so angry, right?
Oh dang, this root was pretty rot. I don't know, maybe that was it.
It's got all those teeth and no toothbrush.
Hey.
Oh, that's a good one. Should write that one down.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've heard one of your excellent jokes, Bo.
Well,
Part of
Where's
the
the
tight
boat
five.
puns?
Yeah, metaphors with Bo.
the truth is in the laughter, and not a lot of people laughed at them, so I kind of put them aside for now.
Oh,
Ever
but I love
since-
them.
Ever since you've been dealing with this unholy behemoths, your sense of laughter has left you.
Well, which unholy behemoth? The hobgoblin or the Hydra?
Are hydras unholy? Are they
They're
naturally
behemoths.
occurring?
Well, one of them was unholy. One of them was behemoth. I don't know. Can I raise this thing? No.
Dun,
No.
dun, dun.
The answer is no.
No.
Not
no.
until I pull all the teeth out.
It
I just
tries.
figure, meow, meow, meow.
We'll get him dentures.
Hydra with dentures. That is what the Velkyn weave is for.
Wait. If it,
Stay tuned
grows,
for more great content.
if it grows a new head, does it grow more teeth?
Question for the DM.
I don't want to entertain that thought.
So are we going to have about
Yes.
an hour or so downtime here?
You could take an hour if you would like. I mean, it was a big fight, so
We may need to rest, and it might be good to dress the body a little bit, get some scales and some Hydra steaks.
I mean, I'm pulling teeth anyway, so I'm down to take.
Gotta be worth something.
I'm
shortish
sure.
rest.
I'm sure Hydra blood has some type of alchemical use.
See, we can make bank here.
I try to get some blood into a vial.
You describe the process by which you
I take out
extract the blood.
the knife that you guys saw before, and I just try to.
The sturge you pocketed from earlier.
I just try to.
It's like a little eyedropper, but it's furry.
Squeeze it, jam it in there, and
Oh my god!
pick one of the long necks that doesn't look like it's been slashed, and just try to shove the knife in and see if I can eke out any blood.
You do a pretty good job. You carve up that Hydra. You
Oh,
get
I was
the
gonna-
blood of the Hydra.
While he does that for his set, I'm gonna unfurl my alchemist set, get actual eye drops, like slit, like stick it in. What are you doing over there?
Licks
Noob.
the knife. Oh. Waste not. So you take some good Hydra steaks, some precious scales, talons, and anything of value that you find on it. And post session, I might roll on a Monty Cook cipher table for 5th edition to see if you get any cool single use magic Hydra items, because I think that would be fun.
Or maybe
Also, hat
any
tip to Monty.
loot stored in the stomach.
There's no loot in that monster's belly, but there is in the keep. So
I'm taking the hour to stay away from the gore and viscera, and I'm going to sit cross-legged on the path there and cast Find Familiar. I get out some herbs and charcoal and incense
boy.
and
Oh boy.
cast away. Cast away.
Ever watch Jim Henson's Storyteller, The Soldier in Death? There's a soldier playing card with all these devils. Yeah, that's essentially going to be one of your imp. What's the imp's name?
Tenebrous.
Tenebris. All right. My cousin's Aloysius. Sorry, imps are the best. If you'd like to play the imp, you can play the imp yourself. If you'd like me to play the imp, just pass the torch.
Well, I swapped out the invocation for the silent image with the voice of the Chainmaster. So we are now one, and we speak with the same voice.
Oh no! I mean, yes, awesome, excellent character concept.
What just happened?
There's 2 of them now.
We are Quinton.
It's like Howdy Doody.
No!
We are Quinton.
The world
Please.
can only stand one Quentin.
I'm getting you an imp puppet to just have on stream. You'll speak
oh,
in
this is
the same time.
amazing.
Wait.
Yeah.
He actually has a fiend.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
see. How
Yeah.
did I? Would he be?
If he's an imp, he is.
If he's an imp,
I'm
he
taking
is.
bets. Renian versus Quentin's imp. Right here, bookie.
He wears a little blonde wig. I'm not. I'm but a small child.
10
A
on
human
Renian.
child.
20 gold on Renian, right here.
Yep, yeah, okay.
After he appears in imp form, I tell him to change to raven form, and he sits on my shoulder.
It's
I
great.
can sense fiends.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think you can see through that.
Quentin,
You're just like,
did
I don't
you-
know.
did you
There's a fiend
just
somewhere in this raven as you squeeze it.
did you just summon a demon?
Devil, technically. Sorry, did I speak with one voice? Sorry.
Maybe I mispronounced that last syllable. I was going for a celestial.
I'm waiting for the Glee Club.
You both
Is
are
this-
so lucky that this is not my calling.
Is this a thing the Razor does? Is he like a fiendish sort?
Actually, I can tap into all sorts of power, but this one just fits me better.
No one's disputing that.
Hey, and don't worry, he's not going to steal or kill unless I direct him to.
That's not comforting.
He's fully under my control. Nothing could go wrong.
That
You
means
know-
nothing.
You
Voice
know,
of the
whenever
Chainmaster?
just so you remember, when I turn, it has to make it save.
Doesn't discriminate.
It doesn't discriminate.
Okay.
I'll remember that too. Don't worry.
Yeah, you Fae and Fiends both.
That's fine.
I mean,
They are our friends, not food.
Wait a minute, guys. We're like creating the anti-foils of ourselves. You know, Bope, someone's undead. I turn undead.
It's always good to have like
Checks and balances.
Quentin
within
and
the
Elgin
party.
both summon Fiends and Fae. Yeah, it's fine. Everything's fine.
right.
Onward.
doing great.
After a small rest.
After a small rest, devil summoning, the potential of a Fey invasion, and a twinkling in the eye of our party, they continue through the woods. And at this point, Bope, I would like you to roll a D100.
Oh, okay.
And while he's doing that, I would like someone to make a survival check.
Not it.
I volunteer.
You trek into the Blackwater region.
I trust the druid.
That is a
Or
67.
survival.
It's not a great roll, but I have a +6 to survival, so a 10.
Wow. That really was an awful roll.
It was not a good roll.
Bope, what did you get?
67.
Right. So you get one of those.
A beholder. What?
No.
Another Hydra.
No. No.
2
I mean-
Hydras.
You're fine.
Zombie beholder?
Oh.
You're trekking through the swamp. And Doliris, you can see that there is an area of vegetation that looks extremely frightening, that seems to be slithering and following soon behind. It is a tangle of weeds, plants, vines.
Eldon.
Like,
It
who's
is
got that
trying its
ring of
best
bark
to
skin?
close in.
What,
It's about 60 feet away. It's kind of picked up on your presence as you're traveling through the woods, and just kind of it's not the same size as the Hydra, but it's just kind of slopping around, and it is traveling faster than the group is.
And what is that?
Like a big walking plant. Or
That's all
massive
you got?
plants.
Nature or history. Well, if you see it, I'd let you know. It's a shambling mound.
Yeah, all right. Yeah. Well, I mean,
You're not
it's
engaged in
obviously-
combat with it. It's nearby, though.
It's obviously a big, massive plant shambling around. How about we just hoof it a little bit and avoid it?
Okay, but it's moving pretty fast.
Well, unless you have a scythe and you'd like to go harvesting, let's just get out of here.
So, yeah, so here's sort of, you can describe how you want to lose the shambling mound. It's pretty clever here in the swamp area, but you can devise a plan. You can just try to flat out outrun it, and then we'll do like a group. We're moving quicker than it through the bog check. Likewise, you can try to trick it, send it away somehow, because they're not smart. They're just hungry.
Do shambling mounds have a way of detecting you other than visual or auditory?
I would say this. So go ahead and make a nature check.
Yes, you're the one that asked the question.
Well, I was asking in character for people who know better than me.
It sounded like you were asking Grant. I don't know.
Yeah.
Say, Bob, what's your other zombie doing?
If someone else has nature, you
Holy
can make the check
shit!
with
Nat
advantage.
20! Nat 20!
Boom.
22! Bam! I know what a shambling mound is.
You know, it doesn't have tremor sense. You know that they're blind. You also know that they're very difficult to injure, and no chance to blind it, no chance to deaf it. It will never become exhausted. It will hunt you for the rest of your days if it has reason to, but it has no reason to right now. It's just hungry.
Okay.
Zombie bait.
Ooh, there's a good idea. Or
Tell him to go give it a hug, and we can just keep on moving.
I feel like we could use this for the hobgoblins, but
I mean, I have an alternative plan if you don't like zombie bait.
What do you got?
I do my
Edibles.
whole fancy group sneak spell, and then I make a doppelganger of myself right there to lead it away while we sneak.
That sounds great.
I will point out that yeah, you're pretty good if you make a doppelganger of yourself. Is that what you're going for?
Yeah.
Is that the plan?
Well,
it
Everyone
worked.
likes that.
Starts going through the water trying to find Doppellyris.
Oh yeah, that checks out. I like it. Yeah.
Is it the
Yeah.
Doppler effect?
It's the Doliris effect.
Oh,
And with that, you totally nat 20 and trick the shambling mound, which then kind of disappointingly sleeps back into the swamp.
shambles.
And you are now coming to a clearing where you come to some dry land and solid ground here in the bayou, where
Ooh.
there is a small wooden cabin at the top of the hill, surrounded by a thick of trees, and 3 large dogs come running and yapping to the edge of the territory, howling and barking at you. They stare with soulless eyes.
Soulless. That's
Like a
so-
doe's eyes, Quint from Jaws. You know, it's just like,
Well, I'm just gonna walk right up to him and start talking to him with my speech of the woods ability. I can just.
yeah, and they're, oh gosh,
Jealous?
what are these dogs' voices going to? Urgh! No, gosh, no Scooby-Doo, no Muttley from Wacky Races. Yeah.
That one might not. Yeah, that one's a bit older.
All right, so these the dogs are just like they're just kind of like angry Bostonians. They're just like, what are you doing here? I'm not gonna do a Southie accent. They're just like, get away from our land. This is Jor's land. You're not welcome. You're not allowed. And you are a creature of the swamp, and swamp creatures stay in the swamp.
We're not of the swamp. We're here to see Jor. We're friends of his niece, Serana.
We don't like her much. Yeah, she smells. She smells bad. She smells like Drellin's Ferry.
Well,
Drellin's Ferry's a dump. There's good.
She
snacks,
told
there's snacks.
us to be nice to you guys.
They all stop and they sit.
Gonna turn
But
around
they're
and give everybody a
staring
thumbs up.
like, well, if you're going to be nice, show us some.
Have some Hydra steaks.
Right.
Hydra snacks.
Would you do it for a Hydra snack?
They sit pretty.
All right. Yeah.
They kind of, the tails are wagging. They're little nubbin tails, and like,
Toss me some of that Hydra meat.
yeah, they got little nubs, and like they're just kind of like doggy nubbing around, and now they're like very excited, and they're kind of circling around. They're like, "Where Hydra snakes? Where are they? All right.
All right. Throw in the Hydra steaks. Or at least.
Please throw us the
couple
Hydra
of them.
steaks."
Toss a big one over.
Yeah. Toss a big
Swallows
one
it
in.
whole, like a duck, no chewing either. And just like, you know, they are very satisfied. Don't you got any more of those? Are there any other hydras around? Yeah, if you kill any more hydras, bring in the steaks. We'll love you forever. We
I'm
already
watching.
do.
Buddy. You got it.
We already do.
So they love Hydra steaks, for the record, just so you guys know.
I'm watching that nub and tail to see if it regrows.
I think we're 6 tails now. It's a 6 tail.
Oh no, it's a displacer beast! Run!
A large humanoid creature comes out of the cabin. He's a massive man. His hair is it's actually well groomed, big bushy beard, and his eyes are kind of narrowed, and he kind of stares out. If you had to guess, he's half giant, half man. You know, and because there were forest giants in these woods, and he comes out, and he's just, "You done what you done yapping at," and just kind of looks around. Then he sees your group, and he's like, "Suspicious."
Why do people keep saying that?
Because they're the woods.
He,
I was
li-
like, I blame Quentin.
he lives alone in the woods. I think anybody is suspicious, frankly.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, the dogs they look fed. The dogs just kind of look up and they come up and they're all, like rubbing against them, just trying to get all up on them. He's like, "These are your dogs, not cats." And they're just, yeah. And the dogs kind of said, he's like, "If the dogs are okay with you, I'm okay with you."
Yeah, your niece Serana told us about you, and we'd like to ask you about the keep.
I can answer in the cabin. Kind of looks around. He goes, "Not one to answer outside of the cabin. The cabin's a mimic. It eats everyone." No, the cabin is.
It's the largest mimic ever.
Doesn't eat
Dun,
him
dun,
because
dun.
he keeps feeding them strangers.
He says you can talk inside or on the porch, but he's not talking down there by the swamp. He goes, "There's probably also kind of creepy things listening in the swamp." You do see, like, sunk in the water, there's, like, dead goblinoid bodies. There's, like, a warg that's been devoured partially by his big doggos. Yeah.
Like the Swamp of the Dead, when you look into the water, you see dead bodies, but completely unrotted.
Thank you for that, Brennian.
Yeah, just think about it right as you're trying to go to sleep tonight.
Gentle repose. Don't want them fading on me. No, he said.
It's a nice cabin you got there.
Thanks. Building myself. Now, you said Serana, she finished college yet? He says with an eye roll. Sits on the porch. Her folks worked hard to send her to Bard College.
Bard College?
No.
Yeah, it didn't seem to
kidding.
take. Beautiful singing voice, that one.
Ooh.
Charmed the teeth out of a hydra, if you ask me. Kind of says there, rocking in his chair.
And that's quite difficult to do.
Funny story.
Yeah, and he goes, "So you're looking to head to the keep. Do you need information about it, or do you need a guide?" He says very matter-of-factly.
Well, information and a point would be good enough, but if you're offering, we wouldn't turn it down.
If you're friends with Serana and you're friends with the dogs, and you've clearly killed a hydra that's been a plague to these swamps, as he kind of like, one, he smells, two, he goes, "I smell through their pores," as he smells his dogs. They haven't eaten hydra bacon, hydra steaks. Yeah, and he seems kind of disappointed about that. He's like, "I'm very specific on their caloric intake." But
Sorry if we messed
gotta
with
spoil
that.
them once in a while, he says as he scritches their heads. Gotta spoil them once in a while. And he's
Everything
like,
in
"Yeah,
moderation, including moderation."
you're good." He's like, "You're good peoples," he says as he, continues to smoke away. Yeah. He's like, "Do you need a place to sleep for the night? Look slightly ragged, but in good repair. You have meals." And so at this point, you're about halfway through the day. You theoretically would probably get to the keep by nightfall, but it would be nightfall when you arrive there.
Got it. And to get back would be another halfway through the night then. Okay.
I mean, we could observe during the evening, see what their situation looks like.
Trekking back would mean getting back here to a relatively safe spot after midnight at least.
Woods are perilous, but you look like folk that know how to handle yourself, he says.
Well, you heard about the hobgoblins, I assume.
Yeah, I've killed a bunch of those buggers, and there's goblins riding wargs through these woods. My woods, he says it just like that, as if he owns the land. He goes, "My woods. Warg riding hobgoblins. Fussing and fighting and killing good folk that live back at the towns."
Yeah, we saw some of those out at the causeway. Looked like the Hydra had been chewing on them.
That's part of the reason we plan on going to the keep. Kill as many of them as we can. Otherwise, they're going to the city and going to slaughter the populace.
Yeah, the folks in town wanted to come check it out.
He's full of alarms now. He's like, slaughter the populace, and he's like, you want to go tonight? I get you there tonight. Get you there quick.
I have most of my spell slots.
I think time is of the essence. There's potentially an airship with reinforcements coming from the north.
Oh yeah.
What is an airship? He says very ignorantly.
You know what like a pirate like a pirate boat looks like?
Yeah, he thinks really hard in his head. He goes, "What is a pirate?"
Have you ever seen
I'm just funning with you. No, he's not very educated. He's mostly just used to these woods, and he hasn't heard many stories other than he's heard around. He doesn't meet many travelers, but he gets the idea. He goes, so kind of like a boat that floats up there, and he points.
Yes.
Exactly.
Enchanted.
Witchcraft.
Essentially. Something like that. But it's all them hobgoblins that they like worship some dragons or whatever, even though they're goblins. I don't know. They're ridiculous is all I know. And they've been apparently attacking Drellin's Ferry, and those folks are scared to death and don't want to get killed by all of them. So they asked us to come check it out, see if we can figure out what the deal is, how many are there, maybe snuff it, make that number a little smaller if we can. And see when the airship's coming, really. We know when the airship's coming, we can take care of it. We've got some resources.
Yeah, he thinks about it. He goes, all right, I'll take you to the keep, and gives out a whistle, and like the dogs, you see they kind of like tromp off into the swamp. He goes, them folks are going to scout ahead. They'll let us know if the safe ways are still safe. And with that, if you'd like to accompany George, or we'll take you. If you want to stay and rob his house, you're free to stay behind. No, don't rob George.
I don't think that turned out well.
That won't end well.
I trusted him. Yeah, he's a big one.
To the keep.
Folks used to call me the thick boy of Drellin's Ferry. No, he was never called the thick boy of Drellin's Ferry. That's going to be Deet and Tobias when you go back.
Yeah.
They've been eating very well. They're getting like
town
life. We got some
can't have them
yams
get
now.
Spoiled.
Some hammies
on town life.
They really are at this point. They're like, we've tasted cake. We know cake now. Jor, his dogs sort of lead the way, and what he explains is he goes, the dogs know the safe ways. The woods are dangerous. You've probably run into things coming through here, from sturges to ettercaps to trolls to shambling mounds, hydras, and he just keeps rambling off. It's almost like the Bubba Gump Shrimp Company, where he's like, monsters in the woods. These woods are full of monsters. Yeah. There's dryads and assassin vines, digesters, tendriculos, dire boars, giant stag beetles, goblin war grinders, which are not indigenous. And he's just kind of.
And I just look more and more horrified with everything that he lists.
Owlbears, giant owlbears.
Giant owlbears. Oh my God.
He's not like clutching at Eldon's shoulder, like, what are we gonna do?
Miniature owlbears.
Dire owlbears.
Yeah.
Dire owlbears. Oh
at this point, he's almost kind
blood
of
curdling hoot.
The naked mole owlbear.
But the naked mole owlbear. That's delicious. That's the only word that I could think of.
You stab that.
It's crabdiddlyumptious. At this point, and as you kind of montage through the woods, now here's the benefit of traveling with Uncle Jor. Monsters don't attack you. He does know the safe ways. And since you played your cards right, Uncle Jor is an ally instead of an enemy. People pick on his dogs or things like that, because not everyone can speak to dogs. They're just like wolves. And then he attempts to kill the party. But this is,
you don't kick a man's dog.
No,
you do not kick a man's dog.
So he's kind of asking you as a group. He's like, now, there anything? You know, there's any commonalities between these hobgoblins and other dangers you've had in the woods? Like, do you think the Hydra's affiliated with the hobgoblins, or do you think that's an independent agent?
I imagine that's an independent agent. I don't know too many folks that can tame a Hydra.
Yeah.
Hydras are swamp critters anyway, aren't they? Don't they thrive in swamps?
I mean,
Enjoy a good marsh.
They have similar capabilities as swamp trolls, right?
I'm not an expert, but wouldn't you say that a hydra is dragon-esque? You know?
I mean, it's got scales and it's a little reptilian, but comparing a hydra to a dragon is like comparing a mouse to a lion. Sure, they got fur and teeth, but I don't know if I'd make that a fair comparison.
Doesn't
You
that
are
Tiamat have all those heads?
He's got a point.
Touche, Bo.
Yeah, Uncle Jory looks down. He's like watching this. He's just, you see, you're men of logic. He's just like he's stroking his chin. He's trying to put this all together. Like, series of syllogistic who's a what's it's. Well, yeah, he's just like he's trying to wrap his head around it. He's like, now I'm just a simple woodsman. As he's like towering, he's massive. He's a good 9 feet tall and just lumbering through the woods.
2 times my size.
I think this guy and Velociraptor would get along like a house on fire.
I think he might think Velociraptor was like the greatest creature ever conceived.
He'd see it, yeah. He'd just be like, "Cute parrot, what's its name?" And the Velociraptor would be like,
"Excuse me, sir.
I'm not a bird yet."
I'm not a bird yet.
You travel through the evening, and then looming out of the woods is a haunting sight. You see a keep that looks half fallen apart. This old castle is sitting on a small rocky hill. There's a few broken towers that you see in the distance, and most of the stone, as the light is sort of disappearing, is just covered in moss, and there is a footpath. He goes, now, do you want me to wait here for you, or do you want me to come with you into the keep? Mechanically out of character, just to throw that out. He joins you. You have another companion that will join you in fights because
but he's 9 feet tall.
He's 9 feet tall, and he sticks out like a sore thumb. Also, getting back, you'll have to trek through the swamp. There won't be any Uncle Jor to navigate you easily, which increases the chance for random encounters.
I would not want to get him killed on a task that is not his own.
Yeah, I'd be wary of that too. So if we say no, don't come with us, is he going to wander back home?
No, he'll stay here and wait for you.
All right.
Yeah,
it'd be good also to have somebody watching the exit so as to prevent an ambush on our way out.
Yeah, you see him. He looks up at kind of the surrounding trees, and you see he just like casts web, then jumps in like a comfy hammock. He just kind of sits there. He goes, "Might get a little sleep, but holler if you need me."
What is it with us and coming across castles in a swamp?
You've seen castles and swamps? This is the only one.
No, this is the second one we've seen.
Different swamp, different forest.
Yeah, technically this is like a very small area within the Witchwood. This is the Blackwater area. Evermore's are a huge geographical thing. But you have found... So this isn't a castle sinking in a swamp. This castle is actually up on a hill. So
this one has yet to fall over and then sink into the swamp.
Was this built on a previous castle?
Swamp can be built.
We'll have to build it a third time.
Was this built on a previous castle that fell down into the swamp before?
As he slowly falls asleep, he just goes, huge tracts of land. He's just resting his eyes. That's what he tells you, and he's technically resting his eyes. He may or may not fall asleep, but he would wake easily, and you're not going to find him dead. I'm not going to roll to see if they can't murder him.
Good, that would be awful.
Yeah.
Delirious.
Unless.
What do your human eyes see?
I don't...
Darkness.
What do my human eyes see?
The sun is almost down. You've been traveling a long time. In first night, there are no lights on in the outside of the keep. You're just seeing the beginning of twilights. However, there is moonlight, so it's not like you're blind. It's not pitch black. And currently, It's just a castle on a hill with some crumbling towers. No other real activity, although if you listen closely, it sounds like there is movement up there.
I would like to spread my proverbial wings, the imp in raven form, uh, commanded to take flight while invisible, and just do a loop around the castle to see what he sees within his 120-foot range of vision, and then come back.
Yeah, so he loops around, and here's the information you get from your imp. He's shot down. No, he's not shot down. In the dead of night, a raven flying.
By
I'm
Renian.
that kind of dungeon master. They shot the imp. It was someone Rinian hired to assassinate. No, it was no. He gets good information. The information that you get is there's not much going on up top. There appears to be a group of goblins that seem to be taking wargs out for walks, and they're just kind of like exercising the wargs at night. And then he said there was also something really strange that he saw. He hasn't seen a creature quite like this before. And then he begins to describe it to you.
And I'm relaying this to everybody. I'm sitting on the ground cross-legged, and my eyes have gone kind of white, and I'm just verbally describing it all to you.
He said the ugliest dragon he has ever seen is up there. Except it didn't look like a dragon much. It looked like him in the face. And he points to Uncle Jor, who's like sleeping in the web. He's like, and its body was kind of like he described, and he talks to Eldon, like a mouse, except that bigger version. And a lion. And then he's like, and it was moving around, seemed to have like a spot it likes to hang out at, and mostly it's nothing but a couple of goblins that are walking their doggos.
It's one of my favorite monsters. Sorry.
Does it sound like he's describing like a chimera, like different parts of the creature?
What is he describing, Eldon? What's your favorite monster?
He's describing a manticore.
He's describing a manticore.
Ooh.
Yeah, Magicore, he says. No, sorry, I won't be the PC.
That's one of my favorite monsters to use in games.
It sounds
I've
fearsome.
actually never met one in D&D before.
Yeah,
I'll
me neither.
let you run it in combat. If you do combat it, you might not.
So that's what we saw.
That's what the imp saw. The imp saw a manticore up there, and just a few goblins.
Would a manticore be intelligent? Would it be running the show?
Can't say I've ever met one before. Couldn't tell you.
Well, we'll say, are they your favorite monster in character? Because if they are, I'll give you a little more information.
In character, no. Eldon's never
Aw.
seen a manticore before. Corey,
Yeah, but you might have read about them in books. Like I haven't
Maybe.
seen like beluga whales, but I know a
Sure.
lot about them.
I mean, he may have. Corey, as a DM, loves running manticores against as beginner monsters for a lot of parties.
They're really cool.
They're great.
Yeah. So here's what the group would know in their knowledge. Most of the time, manticores, they're not very smart, but they are vicious predators, and they are fairly powerful given their size.
Can speak.
They can?
They speak common.
Not very smart, but smart enough.
Well, that means they can be reasoned with.
Potentially.
Do they like hydra meat? I'm just asking for a friend.
Depends how fresh it is. I've been walking with the hydra meat in swamp temperature. They would probably
Unless we
eat
stuck
it.
him
It'd
in
be
the
rancid.
portable hole.
With the zombie?
I don't think we have a bag of colding, so I don't know.
A bag of colding. Not safe serve eligible anymore. But with they explain that there is very clearly there's some goblins, some wargs, there's very clearly a manticore up there.
So how do y'all want to play this?
He also says, And there's something kind of like that guy, and he points over at Jor, except way bigger and like the inside of his body, but he's sleeping.
So I can see through his eyes.
Red?
Like we got the telepathic bond going on when I focus on him. Did it look like a fire giant or cloud giant?
What it looked like to you was a giant skeleton, dead, not like up and walking around, like the remains. And you remember from Serana,
Right.
Yeah.
there used to be giants that lived there.
Forest giants that used to inhabit the castle. Yeah. Okay.
So what exactly was our purpose coming to the keep?
You want to find out?
Information.
You want to find out when the airship's supposed to show up was one of the directives.
So there's a few. You're trying to figure out if and when they're going to be attacking the town.
Yeah.
2, Quentin had the B plot of finding the magic or dragon magic relic there, and trying to deny it to
We're
them.
looking for some leadership.
Yes.
And they did say about the cellars, so perhaps instead of up, we need to be looking down.
I just get this feeling. My senses tell me that we can do some mischief with the Manticore.
How so?
Yeah, do that.
I don't know. It's a gut feeling. Like maybe we can convince it to give us information, trick it maybe, or get it to cause us a sufficient distraction that'll help us with the hobgoblins.
I mean, is it good inclined or, I mean,
Well,
who
either
knows?
or.
He could just be an a-hole, not want to deal.
Yeah, but you can use jerks too.
Could just be hungry. I don't know.
And we have a
He's getting
solution for
fed.
that too.
If he's getting fed well, he may need some proof.
Variety.
We feed him better.
So I'll throw 2 suggestions forward. One, I could have my familiar do a much more deep dive, but then we're sitting around here. 2, we could throw on some cloaks like the hobgoblins and approach and try to sneak into the sub-basement, see what's going on.
3, we all sit very quietly on my magic carpet and we fly over. It is nighttime.
That manticore does have wings, for the record.
Yes.
You still have Uthlar?
Yes, we do.
Yes.
Okay. Remember, you have him as an asset too.
Yeah. Could use him as a distraction if we needed to.
Maybe
Fake Chewbacca handcuff all of you and then have Uthlar
Yeah.
stumble by. He captured Uthlar is so good. He captured all of them.
Should we
Worse.
maybe do a scout around the perimeter, see if we can find any sort of hidden entrance to a cellar or lower area first?
Or
wait
wake
till
the old
dark?
man. Wake the old man, ask him.
So you can wake him up, and George says he doesn't really know any like secret ways in. He says he gives it's essentially they built the keep, to just be a place they could get into, like walls they could hide behind and defend themselves. Both them and the giants, and they didn't really think about any like tactical or political reasons, and it wasn't like a seat of power. It was mostly a place to go to fight from. They said, but with that said, while he doesn't know of any secret entrances, that doesn't necessarily mean there aren't any. He is mostly familiar with people going in through the top.
Okay, well, this was built by giants, right?
Combination of forest giants and humans.
Yeah.
Working
Okay.
in conjunction.
I'm seeing some large sewer grates.
There's no sewer grates in the keep.
Okay.
Sewer system in the castle in the woods.
They mostly would go out and do their business elsewhere.
Fair enough.
It's not like a city keep. It's they were.
Well, then we've exhausted my Waterdeep city girl knowledge.
Must we go immediately? Should we wait till closer to the morning and get a night's rest. Would be nice to recover somewhat from the encounter with the Hydra.
As you say that, the dogs stretch out and kind of yawn too, and they're starting to curl up under Uncle Jor.
And I guess we could do a short rest.
Good one.
You can do a short rest or a long rest. If you're doing a long rest, you'll have to describe how you want to do watches, because there might be patrols
Sure,
and things
sure.
that come through here.
I would like to. I don't know. Scouting around the perimeter may not be worth it if it was that kind of keep anyway. They're not going to have like hidey holes or trying to, escape routes. This is,
Plus, it's a swamp, so I mean,
yeah, it's digging underground. Well, I mean, supposedly they got cellars, right? That's the thing they have. They didn't abandon digging underground entirely.
is it up on a hill? It's not obviously like a flat plain out here. Is it the keep on a hill, kind of?
It's up on
Yeah.
a hill.
Okay.
Not wild shape into anything that can fly yet. Sorry.
So close.
We
Nice.
have the magic carpet if we need to fly.
It not inconspicuously.
Well, pass without trace.
At night, it'll be pretty sneaky.
You can, yeah. So here's what we'll do, because we're coming close to time. And if you'd like, maybe we call it 5 minutes early and we do some character stuff in the meanwhile, because it may be that you want to take some time as the party to talk and come up and formulate with your plans. So, because you have a lot of options and we're coming to the end of the long session with a lot of combat. And I don't want to push you too hard because it is the middle of the night and they're pretty dead up there. But I'd like to hear the group's pitches of how, I would like to hear everyone's ideas of how you think you should approach the keep. In character or out of character, just we'll go around in reverse order. So we'll do Eldon, Rinian, Delirious, Bope, then Quentin. Just kind of if the group's kind of there having a meeting of the minds. Uncle George snoozing away. You know that there's most likely probably not a secret entrance. You'll have to go up and there's a mana core and a few goblins and wargs with probably greater threats inside.
Now, honestly, I think we want to find information more than anything, right? I think we should try and avoid the fight. Maybe create some kind of distraction out in the forest that draws out some of the goblins, maybe even gets the Manicore's attention, and sneak into the fortress. Get inside as quick as we can. At least if we're inside, we know which way they're going to be coming from if they can find us.
And Rinian?
Rinian's want to attack a problem from one of either two directions. Bottom up or top down. So either way would work. I'm all for assailing from the top and attacking from that direction, as very few are going to expect
Flying carpet at night.
attacks from above or from within once we get within.
Yeah, I mean, that was kind of my thought plan. Again, I don't know why. I just have the gut feeling that we can cause mischief with the Manticore, so I'm kind of inclined towards swooping in on the carpet, parlaying with the Manticore, seeing what we can get done there. But obviously I am inclined to be sneaky about it because I can make us quite sneaky.
I like the idea of using old Uthlar, and he could look injured and just on the cusp and waving for help, and that would serve the purpose of luring out these guards that you were talking about, and we could sneak past them. I also feel like part of our goal might be to thin them out, so capturing them, using that to lure them, and then maybe capturing them and getting more information from them, and then finishing them off.
I agree. We could create a distraction from the opposite way we want to approach. Maybe utilize Tenebris and Uthlar, and we could fly right in.
Now, if we're doing that, we're waiting until the morning then, because there's no point in alerting the whole castle unless it's already going to be daytime.
Well, I mean, by setting this up, we get to see how they react as well. You know, do they panic? Are they professional? Exactly how many are they? Are we only seeing the nighttime crew? You know, do they have 100 more sleeping underneath? Probe their defenses.
And Bope brought up an interesting point. We can draw them out, thin them out. We can set up traps around the forest and draw them into them, like, you know, just some basic pit traps and, you know, claw traps and whatnot. I mean, I don't know how to do these things, but I assume one of you does.
Probably figure something out, but that's damn near devious right there.
That's what it says on my business card.
DND, damn near devious.
Devious Doliris. And with that, I think it's a good time to stop for the night. I want to make sure our players have an opportunity to look very carefully as they level up their characters and as they've hit level 7. So let's do a level 7 round of applause. Very, very well done. Tom, why don't you go ahead and give us our goals update?
So I did not want to interrupt the great planning session we were having there, but at some point as the sun was setting, Bope would have excused himself with the rope and opened it up and gone in with his little vial of Hydra blood and re-upped his animate dead spell on old Uthlar, so that he wouldn't
smiles
try
necrotically.
to tear out my throat. Okay.
Herbs.
However, huge thank you to everyone. We're already halfway to the supporter goal, and you already exceeded the monthly Tavern upkeep goal by over 123%. Subs and Tavern upkeep allow the Games Tavern to upgrade the productions and make better shows for you. Your bits, cheers, means you believe in this great content, and much love to you all for that support. Jeff, any Patreon shout-outs?
Oh, shit. I closed it.
I'll
Uh,
relink.
no, I have it here. I know for sure we want to thank Veritas 23 and
Virgin.
Harper Jean, yes. Thank you for your patronage and support. For all others, remember that you too can get some great behind-the-scenes content on the Games Tavern Patreon. We drop on Wednesdays and Fridays with any new content. So be on the lookout. Some good stuff has already been shared and should be more on the way.
And don't forget to subscribe to the Games Tavern YouTube channel. Likes and comments on the videos help us a lot and gets the word out about the show. It was a huge difference. It makes a huge difference in what we can bring to you as the show grows.
Thank you so much for watching, and we hope to see you next week here on the Velkyn Weave. Dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun.